Very nice.
Was that clear enough?
I think
We're going to go with
all
it.
3 mics. To
Welcome to Grounded Reality.
Get the clap.
So who's buying EA?
I don't know. Who is buying EA?
PlayStation or Xbox?
Apparently they've got 10 billion.
I didn't even know EA was for sale. I thought it was
Everything's
dead.
got a price.
I thought it was dead
everything's
for.
got a
I thought it was
price.
dead a long time ago. EA.
No, EA is very much still
Controversial.
alive. EA is very much still alive. Although they come up with lines like, "Well, the recent Battlefield did not
Exactly.
In the long term, it will."
Exactly, Battlefield.
What about the last one?
When every game comes out
That's
broken,
what I'm talking about.
and you have to develop it for a year before it's actually playable.
Oh, yeah.
What about Star Wars? Ooh.
Star Wars?
Star Wars.
So yeah, we're starting the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
Right, where's
Oh,
obviously
really?
we've been chatting about metaverse stuff.
It's kind of
Where's it
what
all
the
going?
podcast is about.
What do you mean, where's it all going?
Where's it all going?
It's in
Like,
the metaverse.
Okay, right.
What does that mean?
No, like 10 years from now,
Oh my god.
where are we?
Where are we in 10 years?
Yeah.
In 10 years.
What's that line? The line is always like, on a beach with a gin and tonic.
With hopefully some money in our pocket. No,
Not us. Not us.
The fact you're on a
I'm
beach with a
joking.
gin and tonic implies you've got a bit of money.
That'd be alright, wouldn't it?
Where's the metaverse?
No, the
in
beach
10
is
years?
Blackpool.
Well,
Wow,
what's gonna
we've
happen in
really
10
made
years?
it.
The
No.
north is revitalised.
Oh my god, bring back Blackpool.
War has broken out, and everybody's staying in the UK forever now.
So we're getting
No, war has not broken out.
Yeah. Right, anyway, where's things going? So,
What was that?
yeah.
I
Where's
remember
the
puberty.
metaverse going in 10?
Jesus Christ.
in 10 years, we're probably all going to be walking around with Google Glass style glasses and just accessing it through augmented reality. There you go. That's the
That's
idea.
it. There you go.
Literally.
You've heard it from the
That's
horse's mouth.
That's it, mate.
What's his
I reckon. Personally,
accessible to the globe, is this?
I think that is probably what's going to happen. I think we're going to, looking at the rate of technological progression.
Well, we have
and
a
the way
phone.
that I don't know. I don't think so.
You may have a phone as a processing unit, but I could probably be very wrong in 10 years.
I don't think
Again,
so.
what's that term I said to you two? You over anticipate what you can do in a year, but you under anticipate what you can do in 10 years. Apply that to everything.
But think of just technology.
Yeah, that's
Where
what I'm
has
saying.
it come?
You're gonna under.
So when's-
That's the thing.
where
Are
it's
we
gonna
gonna
land.
are we gonna have just bloody lenses that we put in?
You
that you
might
just
even
wear?
go past that. I mean,
Mm.
yeah,
Or-
well, you've got Elon Musk's Neuralink, haven't you?
Right.
But,
I
I don't
mean,
know, that will take some time. I
when
think.
when will VR mainstream be?
Well,
Probably in
it's-
2 years.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say it's very close, isn't it? With it outselling Xbox and PlayStation at Christmas.
The thing is, it's still gimmicky though, right?
And
It is
yeah,
a bit
it's-
gimmicky. You've got people who bought those on the Christmas. It's like, how many times have they actually been used?
and more the
Well,
Yeah, literally.
It's more
we
what
all
are
got a
people who
VR
get
headset.
relations
What do I
three
use it more
times?
for? I use it for table tennis.
Yeah, playing
Will
table tennis.
uses it for
Well, Beat Saber and
iRacing, so professional
Yeah,
simulation racing. And
simulator
Matt uses
racing.
it for.
I haven't really used it.
He hasn't really used it. So there we go, everybody.
But that's the thing. It's kind of
it's not there yet.
it's getting there, but that's the point. It's at that point. If it's outselling major game consoles that have been around, well, not been around, but the brands have been.
There's a bit of nuance.
huge
There is a bit of
for-
nuance.
There is a
there,
lack
isn't
of consoles though to buy.
there is.
Yeah, I get that, and it's not like it used to be with N64 and then Sega Mega Drives, and there's about 5 different consoles you can go out and
Exactly.
buy. It's what Xbox, PlayStation, and Oculus,
PC.
and
Nintendo.
and sorry, Nintendo. The Switch is
Ah,
pretty cool. I'm
We've
not gonna
totally
lie.
forgotten about them because they just
I
keep.
I love
They're
Nintendo.
getting all their apps on. Sorry, their apps are getting all their games on App Store now, aren't they?
Yeah,
Are they?
Yeah, think about it. They've like Super Mario on App Store and stuff like that.
Is it?
Yeah, primitive versions, the early
What?
versions.
the early ones.
I didn't know about this.
There
Yeah.
we go. Game
I'm
changer.
really out of
That's
the
why
loop.
they've got like Sonic and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Well, Sonic Sega won it, so
Oh, well, basically, I mean that you've got old
well.
school OG things.
yeah.
Sega.
But Sega, yeah.
Sega.
However,
Sega.
wasn't it that Nintendo Switch is now the best-selling Nintendo console?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Sure.
They've just broke a record with sales
Sure.
in the past week.
Oh.
or something.
Anyway,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Bloody hell,
we're good at going on tangents as well.
so
but,
we were talking about where things are going in 10 years.
Yeah.
so basically, that's my thought.
Probably
I think we're all going to be wearing some form of Google Glass, if not more or less.
I think you put it into
and you'll be
Yeah.
interacting with
And you'll be on like
the
third,
digital
fourth
world.
iteration.
Yeah.
'Cause when did the
Yes.
iPhone come out?
God, yeah,
2007?
maybe
2007?
was it earlier? Yeah, no, it was around then, probably.
Because we all probably got
I don't
iPods. We all got iPods.
We all got
in, like,
iPods
and
2009,
stuff.
which is when we first started.
I remember my sister getting the first iPod, and I was like,
Yeah.
it
see,
can
there we
hold
go.
like 200 songs.
I know.
But yeah,
We used, play all those Doodle Jump and.
oh, dude,
So will glasses be as popular as the watches?
Yes, because I think tech companies have deliberately taken their time with them to make sure that they want them to succeed, right? They're not going to release them, and they're not going to put so much money into them for them to truly fail. And it's been obvious for years, and it's been confirmed for years that Apple is developing augmented reality glasses.
And ultimately, it's kind of like similar. Well, businesses, massive corporations will develop technology and not release it until the time is right.
Yeah. Well,
So they may be
especially
sat.
Apple.
They may be sat on 3 different iterations of these glasses that they're going to release at certain periods in the future. It's how businesses work of that caliber with that amount of money work. They develop all this tech.
So we
wait until the demand's there and just say, look, we've got all this. There you go.
we've looked at kind
Kind
of
of thing.
VR, we've looked at AR, but what about Metaverse? Where will that be?
The metaverse is truly enabled by augmented reality and virtual reality. So as those come in, I think only then it's a matter of generational adoption. So as new generations are born into it, that will make it the main thing of consumption. So games have been around for a number of years, but they've only really truly become as, in some cases, overly obsessive as they have become now, because multiplayer has enabled that, and so has the ease and pickup of use of them at such a young age for children.
But it's kind of like us. We were probably one of the first generations that
No.
got.
Think about James May. This is I always love thinking about this. Do you remember James May's programs where he always goes on about N64?
Yeah, but as
you
in
got
like,
got it
well,
for
yeah,
Christmas.
N64s and stuff. Yeah, that's true. But in terms of AAA games becoming what they are,
What you mean, like a group?
yeah.
So like a group of lads.
Yeah,
Or group of
community
girls
gave.
or-
don't you
game,
remember
whatever.
sitting in your lounge and LANing like
Yeah, but
3 different Xboxes?
It was the
and
same
just
with
playing it all in-
N64s.
Yeah,
They come
true,
over and
you
play
could LAN
Pong.
it. Yeah.
Was it as adopted?
I was going to say Pong was pre N64.
That's what I'm saying, though. It wasn't
Atari.
as adopted.
Atari. Yeah.
Atari.
It's
Sorry.
the bar of entry for the technology. That's why
Yeah.
Oculus has succeeded so much, because it's £300 or
It's
$400 or whatever.
It's achievable, isn't it?
Yeah,
So in terms of obviously adoption,
the metaverse
Of
in
it.
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
who will lead? Obviously,
again-
Facebook's come out and said
Oh.
everything.
You mean companies?
Facebook said
Well-
everything that they've said.
Facebook's also just come out and
And-
said that they're going to make everything open source.
Really?
Yep. It's not one company, the metaverse. It is the company is essentially society. That sounds like there's no
That's what
other
it
way of
should
putting
be.
it. It is essentially what the society makes of it because of the way that it's structured and because of the way that technology is made around it. That's why I'm saying it. You can compare it to civilizational change as to what the Romans, the Greeks, Vikings, all these major ones that
British
brought in,
Empire and
British
all this,
Empire,
all
yeah.
that sort of stuff.
all for their pros and cons and all that sort of stuff.
Industrial Revolution.
Industrial Revolution. It is a dramatic change. It will bring in
In
change
society, yeah.
in governmental decisions and all this sort of stuff.
Tax.
Exactly.
Tax, fantastic one. Yeah.
No, let's
How
not-
the hell they're going to deal with that?
Who was the guy we went to see? Let's get him on.
Oh god, I can't remember him.
He was good.
He was good, and he mentioned he wanted to talk about a certain country, but refused to talk about him on stage. But anyway, never mind.
Yeah, but he put it quite well about these changes and evolution and the change of monetary value within those.
Well, it is. It
Stages.
is developing monetary value to a society. It's kind of obviously currency what was it originally? It was cows, sheep,
Tangible.
it was cattle.
was
living
it was
assets.
It was assets. It wasn't
living assets
It was
into
not
tangible
coins.
assets.
The coins were developed by the Chinese, I think, off the top of my head.
I
They
don't know.
originally came from China or that sort of area, and it's kind of then that obviously changed the way we think about money and monetary value. Is the same way that crypto is now taking the tangible monetary value and making it digital. So you look at it and go, right, okay, instead of having 20 quid in your hand, you have a string of code that authenticates that you have £20 in your digital account, not some...
And verifies
whatever.
your digital
And-
assets,
well,
and
and
now
ver-
verifies your physical assets.
But
as
that's
well.
it. It verifies. The whole idea is verification and making sure it is authentic. And
It's the same as coins under a government, though, isn't it? The government
is, yeah.
goes,
we have
are-
a certain amount of coins in
Yeah.
in circulation. We take certain amounts out. We add certain amounts.
yeah,
They
that thing
can
that says
control-
£100 is £100 because we as a government say that it's £100.
Say it's £100, whereas inflation and other things that can be manipulated or
Yeah.
changed cause monetary value to change.
Yeah.
So it's like crypto and stocks. Obviously they work in a similar way in some of their monetary value. So compared to current currencies.
So what was your original question?
So we were talking about Metaverse and how it's going to be, but then we were kind of thinking about how
we went into
We
kind of Facebook,
develop-
and obviously going open source, and
Well, like, yeah,
how
again,
we need to develop it as a society, not just a corporation.
I think what you'll see is maybe a company like Facebook may make a format that enables the metaverse. You know, you've got all these clothing companies that are making digital fashion. How
Across
does
different
that actually
crypto-
work across the different platforms? Like, there's no clear answer for it.
And ultimately, how do you verify that across different crypto blockchains?
Yeah, it's not there yet. It's the idea and principles is there, and people are trying to build things for it, because in building things for it, it enables it, right?
well it pushes it forward and makes it more set in
There's
stone.
too many nuances to the system now,
Yeah.
but which obviously
There's too many variables.
in 10 years' time will all be different.
It'll be
Yeah.
it will become clear in 10 years' time. Again,
More centralised
we-
system.
underestimate how
Yeah.
far things can go in 10 years. It's
I mean,
I know it's kind of like we find it a bit ironic that we're going, oh, it's good because it's a bit more decentralized, but then actually centralizing it will make it more mainstream in a way, because
I
more
think-
people
again, I
will
think people's-
access it in.
people centralize it in a funny
different way.
People centralize them playing games, you know, in their living room or something like this and stuff like this. It's, you know, people find ways of doing that just to essentially understand the world around them, and how if I play Fortnite on my computer, what am I doing with it? Where am I doing that, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I suppose the world in Fortnite is a decentralized space. That's, in regards to the metaverse, that is an early thing, isn't it? 'Cause you've got the likes of
gaming
Ferrari,
social.
you've got the likes of, I can't really mention him, Ariana Grande, you know, performing live. Again, it's coming.
But it just shows that big, wealthy artists and just wealthy people in general, in terms of businesses and individuals, are pushing
Well,
all this more digital,
they seem to understand it a bit more.
Well, they do. It's because they realise that it's the next step of interaction, and their whole careers are based on interaction with clients or customers.
Yeah.
Or as an artist, you have to be able to gain access to your client base, don't you? You
Yeah.
have to make
it's an
it
extension of
accessible.
marketing.
It is, yeah, and it's making they're thinking
community
how can I
engagement.
push my marketing further than the other rappers or singers or artists that I'm competing against.
So on and so forth.
It's the next step.
Movie.
It's that, movies,
Franchise.
everything. It's that next step in marketing that pushes
It's
you
true
above the
community
parapet.
engagement.
Yeah,
It's
It is. Yeah, it is.
it is. It's making it more
yeah,
engageable and
con-
interactive.
content marketing without reason,
Hmm.
and creating streams of just content that you can give to your community and say, here you go, we did this because we want to do this, not because we want to sell you something. It's selling without selling,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and creating these true community places where you can interact and be who you love in the way you want to do it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like VR chat. A lot of people then obviously develop their avatars, go on there and be who they want to be. Like you find lots of random people talking and learning languages on there, or people just
It's
chatting
through education, right?
through education, or talking about stories, or that podcast thing that you showed me where they were basically doing interviews with people on VR chat.
I just
And
think
it's kind of like it's
more. It's kind of taking what the 80s brought us within kind of community, and extending that.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. What
Well,
do you mean by
like
that?
look at punks, look
Right.
at skateboarders. They created these communities in the physical world and made these spaces where they could be themselves, listen to what they want to listen to, and engage with who they want to engage with, and truly kind of brought content marketing to the mainstream through magazines, and gave access to everything that they wanted to give access to.
Yeah.
And it's like this
And
this
to people who-
transfer of
It's kind of like people who may not necessarily want to join in as well.
yeah.
So maybe people who are in a situation, I don't know, being a modder to their family is, I don't know, their family or parents may not approve of it. It's something. It's a bad example.
It's giving it
but
back
you
to
know
the
what
people.
I
At
mean.
the
It
end
kind
of the day.
it gives people access, like you were
Yeah.
saying, to that space. And
That
to
everyday
those things.
person can do what they want to do
Yeah.
within the metaverse, because they have control of the monetary value.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they have control of their smart contract. They have control of their skin, and they can do what they want to do in these spaces.
Yeah, they make themselves look how they want, talk how they want, do whatever they want. They can be truly themselves, because obviously society is interesting in that way, but then we're getting very deep into society and how you have to conform to certain things, which I understand. Obviously, certain things are silly, but
people like patterns, right? They they find patterns, they create patterns to help them understand what's going on.
It's how brains work in general.
It is how brains work. Yeah,
They find patterns and connections.
Yeah.
So it's kind of understandable, but it gives people a free space to be who they want to be, and push that persona out, and necessarily it'll make people mentally feel a hell of a lot better,
yeah.
because again, people can be who they want to be.
People could be.
But
And they
on the
don't have to put
polar
up with facade.
opposite,
But
there's also the negatives.
there
That
is
we have to
negatives as well.
address.
Yeah, of course.
What,
There's
in
massive
regards
negatives.
to living in virtual worlds?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's almost anti-social social
I
media.
think the word schizophrenia can come up quite quickly.
Multiple personalities,
Is it schizophrenia? No.
bipolar.
No, well, it is. It's all along the trail. It's all along the trails of that. It is the principle that you can get so absorbed in something and you start believing that that's your true form. That is your true
Existence.
Your true existence. I do think that's a very real.
Then we are becoming Matrix.
It's not a real possibility. It
Matrix-esque.
probably will happen. Yes, and to sort of bring that round, that is why Cyro focuses on 3D scanning, because it is the idea that you ground it in what exists in real life in the digital world. So when you've got people flying off in spaceships to
Some made up planet.
K7614 planet, off aliens or something like that, we're basically going, look,
There's a space here.
there's a space that exists in the real world, and if you want to live in the virtual world, you can do it through the means of something that does exist, basically.
Yeah,
So I think that's our approach to the mental health question.
Yeah,
a
it's
little bit.
grounding it, bringing it back to the physical, and making sure that we don't get absorbed into these spaces.
Well, again, it's not. It is kind of not controlling it in a way, but it's making it that your brain doesn't go completely gaga with the possibilities, and you kind of, like you say, get completely absorbed in this virtual world. Whereas what we look at and go, look, what is here right now? What is in front of us? What do we interact with on a daily basis? Why can't that be digitized? Because people will understand that, and they'll get it straight away, won't they? They won't think, oh my god, I'm in a spaceship. Even though, like, when I showed VR to my dad, he was like, holy crap, I'm in a spaceship, this is amazing, kind of thing. But it was like that sort of thing. But I think when we showed him what we do, he was also as impressed, because he's like, look, if you were disabled, you were in a position that you couldn't get to these certain points, like some of the work that we've done, that gives access to people. It gives that next next level of interaction for people who may be not as fortunate in
But
certain situations.
What about
So-
these kind of negative connotations of Facebook and all these things people have been throwing out about what social media has done? How would you
in terms
challenge
of
that?
impacting
And-
on society?
Yeah.
I think I'd challenge that by saying that there's certain things about the metaverse, as you mentioned about VR chat. You know, those interviews in some cases were very sort of like, almost like private things that people wouldn't necessarily share if they were in the same room as somebody.
In a social setting like we're sat here on the sofas or whatever.
There's a lot of, well, there's not a lot, but there's a few companies that are already getting into the space for therapeutic and meditation purposes of virtual reality, because it's the idea that you can take people to certain spaces. Now you could argue, play devil's advocate that, what happens if these people's lives are so bad that they just want to go and live in that tropical rainforest that they seek so much.
Well, it's escapism.
It's escapism, but when do you go too far, right? And I suppose that's the talk about social media, right? That, you escape through your phone.
And you can be your own worst extension.
Keyboard warriors,
racists, a complete negative towards social media, and something that they are obviously having to try and control. And
it's also addiction, isn't it? Like we're saying, people are literally addicted to social media or their mobile devices. It's a side effect.
I think it's cause and effect. Well, it's not cause and effect, but it is cause and effect, because the cause is essentially we are flawed, we are human, we have traits about us that we like to compare, we do like to find patterns, we do like to become addicted to things because it helps us. It's like getting up at 7 a.m. every morning. If you do that in a repetitive nature, after 60 days, it becomes not
habit.
It becomes true habit.
And is that more of an education piece? Is that society has to adjust to the things that we are given?
I think society does need to adjust, yes.
And we have to educate and inform in the way that we can all adjust together and understand the problems of it.
Well, it is. It's not going at it gung-ho and creating all these things and then making it kind of almost like the social media boom that we had. It's also then going and like we're saying, educating people on the positives and the negatives of these things as you develop the product or service, the metaverse as a whole.
As a positive,
people understand it.
As a positive out of it, mental health is now in the mainstream and really being pushed for people. Like, people understand it now and accept it is a problem that we didn't know about it. 10 years ago.
And then ultimately, it was
15 years
people
ago. It was
knew
always
about
there.
it. It was just that you couldn't talk about it in society.
It was negatively attached.
Again, that's one good thing, like you said, that's pushed forward, is that people
we've
are
now been able to accept and understand our own flaws and learn to control our problems.
Well, talk about it. That's the big thing. Because if you keep it cooped up, you break down. So it's kind of, we're getting onto very, very deep conversation here.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. It does end up coming back down to
it
that.
Does.
Because
it's all about mental health.
That is the biggest problem. I think people find dystopian nature of like somebody living in a little box. They have a little bed and, they have a bit of food in a fridge and a cooker, and then they live their entire lives when they put this little headset on, and then that's where they live. I think that will happen. It already does happen. It happens in South Korea and Japan, and they've even coined words for those sort of people that do that. Funnily enough as well, those countries are some of the most forward, most advanced countries in the world. They are right at the top.
From a technology standpoint.
Both from a technological standpoint and a societal standpoint. So it's interesting how some of the most progressed countries in the world have ended up in that situation and continue to get into the situation of population decline because a lot of their younger generations are starting to live their lives inside and aren't essentially interacting with other people as much as they normally would do physically.
Digitally.
But are digitally, again, when you say describe the metaverse, it's very difficult because you are talking about all all of these bits of an equation that will come up to this like ever-ending final answer. It's not clear. You know, at the moment they're trying to commercialize it. They're trying to Ferrari and Fortnite.
Well, it's who can make the most money out of it.
Who can make the most money on it? It's cash grab.
Basically.
You know, frankly, I agree. I think there's too many companies that are doing it for that sake. They're not actually going, right, okay.
Long term, what can we do with this?
Yeah. You know, for example, for me personally, for the Metaverse, you know, one of the main reasons why I think I can do Cyro in the north compared to London, why I didn't stay in London, is because I think it will become very normal for, you know, people to work wherever they want to work and, you know, communicate with the people who live anywhere around the world.
I mean, we do it already.
We do it already, but we don't do it in a way that's as good. If you say, I love Zoom, somebody will still come back at you and go, yeah, but it doesn't beat standing in a room with somebody and
Google
walking
Meets.
up to them. Yeah, Google Meets. But I think it will get as good as that. I think it will get as good as, you know, working in a space with somebody that feels pretty much one-to-one the same as that thing that you were doing when you worked there.
And kind of like person. Bouncing off that is the whole idea of how technology is adapting to make it more real. And that with the example of haptic gloves and all these other things that you could potentially end up wearing, that means that it physically stops your hand when you are touching an object or when you're feeling an object.
Yeah,
it gives that next level. Then that's where it could potentially push even further.
And for me, I think it's also the instantaneous aspect of it all. Ultimately, will make us all more productive. Like, I feel more productive. I know I do not now need to physically meet someone. I can sit in my room or in an office, and go and chat to them. Those people.
But you can see them as well, can't you?
I can see them. I can interact with them in a physical way, digitally, and ultimately make my day more productive in the sense of, right, I'm not going to be travelling 2-3 hours to go and see someone and then travel back.
Also, it gives you a better work-life balance in that aspect. That it means, I don't know, I'm kind of last minute get up guy sometimes. It's a case of,
this is new to
me. Sometimes it's kind of like
your home is your space.
Well, it is. It's your space. It means that you can sleep longer. You can, as soon as you're off from work, you're at home. It's kind of the whole working from home thing. But in a way, adding that next level, I think, will improve the work from home balance, because you're not physically seeing your house. You're not.
You don't feel like you're not
associating it with home. You work with home. You're associating this digital world with work, and when you pull out of it, you're at home.
You're back at home. Yeah.
That's the one thing that is important. It's like working in bed.
Yeah.
I know it seems silly, but then your brain associates working in bed with working.
Your home.
Well, you're also in bed.
Yeah, exactly. But then when you go to bed, your brain doesn't think, I want to go to sleep. It thinks, I want to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your home office will become more and more important.
Exactly. It will.
That's a nice way of putting it. It will do. Yeah.
Maybe we should get into office furniture.
Yeah.
Well,
like these
products coming soon.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have to get very, very cool with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah. There you go. It's a wrap.
Let's wrap it up.
It's a wrap.
This has been Grounded Reality.
Rip.
We are grounded in reality and realities.
Realities, and how many realities can you say in one sentence?
So cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Go and check out the rest of our podcasts.
And check out Cyro.
In general.
In
Again, talking
found
about social
on
medias.
all good podcasting platforms. Check out cyro.uk on all major social media platforms.
And also our website.
Oh, what's that?
That is Cyro.uk.
So that's what I'm saying. It's
www.cyro.uk.
What about HTTP //
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks very much.
Come and watch some more Metaverse stuff with us. I don't know what we'll be talking about next, but
if you like our approach to it, then yes, stick around.
Oh yeah, exactly. We're a bit less formal than most podcasts, but I like
I hope
it that
you're
way.
informed.
Informally.
Casually.
You're informed
Casually
informally. That's it. Left to right. Goodbye.
Bye.